Shalum, shalom, and welcome. Welcome to those who are drawn by the Almighty Father Yahuah, who understands that no man can come unto him except through Yahusha Mashyach, his word made flesh, his set apart spirit sent in Yahusha's name. Welcome. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is pronounced Symmanayah. This is the 8th installment of Return to the Promised Land. And I want to bring your attention to movement and containment. My brothers and sisters, all too often we fail to examine the realities of what is written as it applies to our current set-apart journey. It is important that as we agree that we have reached end times, that we begin to pray and seek to discern. For I am compelled to believe without a doubt there will be movement and containment. I have witnessed on occasion people that are aware that a wall can either keep one out or contain one inside a specific area. I have seen documentation, videos of how the United States have been sectioned into FEMA zones. I believe it's 10. Search that out, my brothers and sisters. Yes, the United States have been sectioned into FEMA zones. And as I said, I believe there are 10. Many brothers and sisters are awake and they look at these FEMA zones or potential FEMA zones as areas of containment. And many look at it as areas that they must embrace the need to move away. Many, in other words, know that movement will come. If you are one who believe we have entered into end times, then I submit to you, O Yashar'al, that movement and containment can be a good thing, and it can also be a bad thing, depending on what side you're on, at what time. I've had multiple occasions mention how during end times will result in forced movement. I have spoken on this many times, my brothers and sisters, and I will continue to sound the alarm that end times will bring forced movement so that we prepare as we believe we are led. I've also used the words forced migrations to describe what is ahead of us, those who are physically alive. Yes, you see, my brothers and sisters, in the destruction mentioned in the regarding end times and the Great Tribulation, that destruction results in physical death. That massive destruction that describes in the end times will come with destroying habitable places on this planet. Even the secular news these days, scientists are saying that habitable places on this earth are shrinking. Now, I believe, like a scroll, the physical life on this planet will all draw, mainly men, women, and children, will all draw back to the region where it all began. My brothers and sisters, allow me to bring to mind the following. Yashar'al, though we are surrounded with many different positions of belief, many different teachings and practices, many different interpretations of end time prophecies, it appears we do agree that there will be a final gathering. Many are beginning to accept and realize this pre-tribulation rapture is a flaw, it's a mistake, it's wicked teaching. End times will prove there will be many moments where we must choose one side over the other as we begin to journey towards the promised land, as we begin to migrate in the direction that the Most High will direct us. Sure, there will be those of us who will die for Yahusha's name. There will be those of us who will face persecution. There will be a falling away, as mentioned in the scriptures. There will be those out of unbelief that will not move. There will also be those ordered to shelter in place to be the last messages for those who are around. We are not to value these earthen vessels over our spirit and our service and our pursuit of worship and obedience to the Most High. My brothers and sisters, soon we will realize there is no escaping the position of choice. And for those who are unbelieving, they just may find themselves forced into FEMA camps or some other type of concentration camp in an effort to contain civility, so to speak. The scriptures speak of famine and pestilence during the end times. Who among us realize that pestilence can also be diseases? Not just insects, but the diseases that they bring. Viruses, bacteria. Who among us realize that currently different diseases are spreading across the planet, my brothers and sisters? Currently, there's a rise in measles and various other diseases, some which were perceived or thought to be eradicated, some not so much. Who among us realize that if disease start to become very rampant, it's just a matter of time before various communities or governments will try to contain pandemics by closing off borders, by closing off the boundaries to a community, a city, a state, or even parts of the country, or even parts of FEMA zones, in an effort to contain the spread of disease. Civil unrest and chaos will come. It will be enlarged, my brothers and sisters. And it is important that we understand the need to discern where the Most High would have us to be so that we can fulfill the task and assignment that He issues us individually and collectively. There will be movement and there will be containment. Who among us are witnessing mores, teachers, pastors, leaders, teaching us to prepare to look physical death in the face and not be afraid of what man can do? Who among us are telling individuals we must understand what it is to be persecuted for Yahusha's name? We must understand what it is to physically die for Yahusha's name. Who among us is teaching and saying to Yashar'al, let us gird up, let us strengthen our minds, body, and spirit to prepare to look death, physical death, right in the face, and still shout hallelujah, and still have the mind that I will yet worship and obey the Almighty Yahuah? You see, these are hard things to think about, let alone speak about. And many do not want to prepare their flock for the face of physical death. Who among us have teachers, leaders, influencers, spiritual guidance that's teaching us how to walk away from things and people, how to walk away, if necessary, from family, from kinfolk, so to speak, from relatives? Who among us are facing teachings and understanding the dynamics will come that require us to not be able to attend funerals, not be able to mourn the loss of others, but to press forward into a motion, into a movement that brings us together as an awakening nation to fulfill the final exodus? And many might say, oh, he's fear-mongering. He's always fear-mongering. Let me qualify the word fear. We are not to fear what man can do to us, O Yasharal, but be mindful of Proverbs 1:7. It says the fear of Yahuah is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. So I say to you, do you not want the knowledge that is necessary to fulfill the tasks that are ahead, my brothers and sisters? Then we must begin with fearing the Almighty Father. Proverbs 14:26 reads as follows. In the fear of Yahuah is strong trust, and his children have a place of refuge. Do not end times dictate that there will be times where we will be seeking refuge as famine, pestilence, wars, earthquakes, meteor showers, civil unrest rise up? Hear these words. In the fear of Yahuah is strong trust. Trust in him. My brothers and sisters, it is critical to know what it means to fear the Almighty Father. Time will prove the need to seek to discern the importance of Yahuwah's words. The importance of his word manifests in the person of Yahusha. The importance of understanding that he sent his set apart spirit in Yahusha's name, as it is written in John 14:26. My brothers and sisters, we will find that in the coming days, each day we must choose a side. It is an ongoing, growing process. And in some cases, the time will come when we will pick a side that may result in our physical death. It may result in us being contained by the earth opening up and swallowing us. Or it may result in us picking the right side and shouting hallelujah, that our feet, our footsteps, our location was not in the path of the destruction that was promised by the Almighty Father. Remember, he promises discipline to his children. He also promises vengeance and wrath. Who among us is able to discern the methods and processes that he will fulfill such promises? I direct your attention, O Yashar'al, to the 16th chapter of Numbers. For the sake of time, I want you to read it. I'll tell you what it's about. It's about a group of individuals who are among Yashar'al, who questioned the leadership that the Most High had designated for Yashar'al. They questioned the leadership, and they gathered in unity to rebel, or at the very least just question, bring about dissension. It talks about the Most High working with Moses and asking him to speak to those who were in rebellion. And in short, my brothers and sisters, Mashyach asked those who believed that he was being used by the Most High, all those who was with him, to be on one side, and all those who was with the rebellious group, Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, to stand on the other side. And what ended up happening? Dathan, Korah, and Abiram, many of their families, their wives, their sons, and even little children were swallowed up by a sinkhole. If you want to call it today, it would be in today's mind a sinkhole. They were swallowed up. That rebellious group, their families, their sons, and their children were contained in that spot based off a decision that they made. So you see, containment can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what side you're on. I cannot stress enough that just as we know the Most High does not change, my brothers and sisters, just like we were witnessing warning shots, so to speak, we were witnessing sinkholes popping up in different parts of the world. Let us not think that we are immune to a sinkhole opening up. Let us not think we are immune to what the Most High will do in order to prove those whom he has chosen to lead his children. I cannot stress enough the need to prepare, to discern how to choose what side to be on. There's a lot of camps, there's a lot of mores and teachers and pastors and bishops that will lead you to believe it's okay to agree to disagree, that it's okay to be among compromising groups. And I say to you, my brothers and sisters, it's not going to be a Swiss cheese type moment with holes in a slice of cheese. It's not going to be where the Most High is just going to open little sinkholes and swallow up those who are wicked and those who are not will not be. It's not going to be like that within a given camp or group. We will come to discern the need to come away, and we will move away. We will come away. There will be movement, O Yashar'al, among those who are obedient. There will be times where the Most High will direct his leaders to purge the wicked ones out of the midst of those who are gathered in a specific area. My brothers and sisters, movement and containment comes. The days of end time prophecy fulfilling is unfolding before our very eyes. The time is now my brothers and sisters, when we start hearing about outbreaks? Are we going to wait till a serious pandemic before we decide we want to move? And what's the guarantee that we will not be caught up in the containment protocols to try to stop the spread of various diseases, plagues? Who's to say that those who get away will not be spreading the disease themselves? My brothers and sisters, it's time to believe what the Most High says is true. And some of you may say, what are the instructions? The instructions is to discern what the Most High have for us, to worship and obey Him, to move when He say move, to begin to prepare as He say prepare, to begin to know what He is saying, to begin to discern the words of the obedient of the Almighty Father's Spirit. Who among us are exhibiting behaviors that fit the mold of iron sharpening iron? Who among us is confident in the fellowship we keep? Who among us know that our moray, teacher, bishop, pastor, and or any other leader will do what is set apart when emergencies erupt? Have they done it in the past? Is there a plan? Are there strategies presented? Or are they covering it up by saying, oh, we're not going to broadcast it. It's a secret. We'll tell you when it's time. We're not going to let everybody know. But yeah, some of us, yeah, those in my inner circle, no. Are these the words of your moray, your teacher, your leader, your pastor, your bishop? I ask you to look back during Noah's time. Do you think Noah said, I'm going to secretly build an ark? I'm going to secretly prepare to enter into the ark? No. There was echoes from the Almighty Father, echoes to set apartness. But the world was wicked and in disarray and disregarded the calls, the warnings, the instructions from the Almighty. But Noah was obedient. It wasn't a secret. Know this, O Yashar'al. If you're not confident with those who you follow, if you're not confident with the camp or fellowship, get confident. Ask questions, pray, and seek to discern, or flee from such position as a member of that camp or group. Step away. It may be for a moment. It may be for a while. But soon and very soon, we will witness the Most High drawing those who are His together. We will witness set apart movement as we find ourselves coming more and more into the knowledge of a living Almighty One who is present before us. My brothers and sisters, it's time for us to realize the realities. Look at the realities that movement and containment can be a good thing or a bad thing. Yashar'al, or set apart Yashar'al. There are not enough words to fully describe what is about to occur. The messages, the instructions, the warnings are only a tip of what is about to unfold. It will be wise to pray and seek to discern how to face times where we must and will adapt and adjust to living orders by the Almighty Father. Yes, movement comes. It will not be the Most High asking our permission. And He knows how to weaken us, to humble us before His words, before His power. You see, end time prophecies is not based on if we respond or if we cooperate. His plan, the Almighty Yahuwah's plan, is unfolding, and it comes, my brothers and sisters. It has begun. The time is now to begin to instruct individuals to prepare and receive living guidance like never before, to adhere to the warnings. There are individuals who have taken the passage regarding there is nothing new under the sun and mistakenly interpreted its meaning. Know this, O Yashar'al, the planet have never seen 7.2 billion. That's new. Know this, O Yashar'al, the final Exodus is the last Exodus before the physical return of Yahusha Mashyach. Know this, O Yashar'al, there is not and will not be multiple judgment days before the throne of Abba Yahuwah. But what makes the scripture hold true that is nothing new under the sun is we will discover that the Almighty Father make known His plan to His children. He has divulged what He will do and what He plans to do, thus not making it new physically, but the actions themselves would be something. To those who do not hear, to those who cannot discern, to those who are unlearned, it may seem as it's new, but to those who have heard the voice of the Spirit of Yahuah speaking to us in Yahusha's name, then we can say, I knew, I expected this to occur. I believe that it will happen. My brothers and sisters, when the scriptures state that there is nothing new under the sun, it is referring that the Almighty Father makes his plan known, make things known to his children before things happen. He instructs us, he guides us, he warns us. He who is the Almighty One, Yahuah, through his set-apart Spirit sent in Yahusha's name. It is he that brings the awareness, O Yashar'al. I close with these words: choose wisely, for soon and very soon, some choices, some decisions we make will be the last ones we make. For some of us, movement will come like the world has never before witnessed. And there will be containment. Another word for containment is left behind. Another word for containment is held against your will. Another name for containment could be to be protected within the circle of set apartness. The protection within the protection of the hand of the Almighty Father. End times are here. Prepare to witness. Begin to discuss these matters. Pray on these matters. Ask questions. And if you're not getting the answer that you believe is set apart, that you believe are directed from the Almighty Father, then it's time to seek to discern such. Maybe be still, and the Most High will direct someone to you, or maybe move in the direction where someone is waiting for you. Yasharal, vengeance, wrath, as well as his discipline, will take on a meaning that will far reach our imaginations. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. This walk, this journey is real. I submit to you these words for your examination in Yahusha's name. Until next time, my name is Symmanayah. I bid you, my brother, my sister, my family, I bid you set apart Yashar'al. Hebrews and Gentiles made one under one banner, Yashar'al. I bid you, Shalum.